Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha television. You're watching the news tonight with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. India is the world's fastest growing major economy. Gross domestic product rises 7.2% in December quarter, surpassing China's 6.8% growth. Figures indicate overall economic recovery led by agriculture, manufacturing, construction and services sectors. Karthi Chidambaram sent to one-day police custody. CBI alleges that he received bribes to facilitate overseas funding clearances to media company INX Media when his father P. Chidambaram was the Union Finance Minister in 2007. Cabinet approves anti-human trafficking bill. Bill proposes rehabilitation fund for victims, designated courts for time-bound trials and rigorous imprisonment of 10 years for the guilty to be introduced in second half of budget session that starts from March 5th. Thousands line up on the streets to pay their last respects to Sridevi. Wrapped in the tricolour, the Bollywood superstar cremated with full state honours in Mumbai. And Kanchi Shankaracharya Jayendra Saraswati passes away after a prolonged illness at Kanchipuram. President, Vice President and Prime Minister Narendra Modi lead the nation in paying tributes. Well, India regained the status of the world's fastest growing major economy. Gross domestic product grew 7.1% in the October-December quarter of the current fiscal. The growth was driven by a pickup in growth in manufacturing and services sectors. Here are the details.
India on Wednesday regained the tag of the world's fastest growing economy, clocking a GDP growth of 7.2% in the December quarter. This was the fastest pace of economic growth in 5 quarters, with gross domestic product growth surpassing China's 6.8% annual pace in that period. In the December quarter, manufacturing grew at 8.9%, higher than 6.9% in the previous quarter. Similarly, the farm sector grew at 4.1% compared to 2.7% in the previous quarter. Construction recorded a growth of 6.8%, higher than 2.8% in the previous quarter, while the services segment, including financial services, grew at a rate of 6.7%, up from 6.4% in the previous quarter. 8 infrastructure sectors grew at a faster pace of 6.7% in January against 3.4% in the same period last year. Petroleum refinery and cement output zoomed, while steel power and coal production improved. However, taken for the entire year, the Indian economy will grow at 6.6%. India's GDP had fallen to a 3-year low of 5.7% in the April-June quarter due to destocking in the run-up to the July 1st launch of the Goods and Services Tax. Moody's Investors Service also said on Wednesday that the Indian economy is starting to recover from the negative impact of demonetization and disruption caused by the GST rollout. It kept GDP growth estimates unchanged at 7.6% for 2018. These figures and projections augur well for India and are reflective of India's strong economic fundamentals, propelled by a barrage of reforms unveiled by the government in the last 1 or 2 years. In fact, the multilateral agencies like the World Bank and the IMF have already exuded confidence on India's economic prowess. Reporting from Delhi with cameraperson Kawaljit, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha television.
Well, another big news now. A Delhi court on Wednesday sent Karthi Chidambaram, the son of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, to one-day CBI custody for interrogation for his alleged involvement in the INX Media money laundering case. The court asked the CBI to produce Karthi before the concerned judge on Thursday. The CBI, which sought 15-day custody of Karthi, arrested him in Chennai earlier in the day. Here's more.
The CBI on Wednesday arrested Karthi Chidambaram, the son of former Union Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, in connection with the INX Media money laundering case. Karthi, who was returning from London, was taken into custody in Chennai. He was later questioned at the CBI headquarters in Delhi. The CBI said Karthi was arrested for not cooperating in the investigation.
He was allowed to travel twice under court orders and returned each time. He is therefore, in a lighter vein, not a Hindustan leaver, L-E-A-V-E-R, but a returner. The last summons in this case from the CBI was exactly 6 months ago on 28th of August 2017. He has not been summoned, therefore there is no ground for saying there is non-cooperation.
The Congress termed the arrest vendetta politics by the BJP-led central government.
Congress party will not be deterred by unleashing of vendetta against Mr. P. Chidambaram or his family. We will continue to speak the truth.
The BJP responded to the allegation, stating that no one was above the law.
The law is taking its course, and the law must take its course. The CBI will explain all the details. We don't wish to interfere. But I will only make one observation. When such issues are raised, what is important is that the nature of evidence available against the offender.
कानून अपना काम करेगी तो आप उसको राजनीति के घेरे में लेकर राजनीति करेंगे। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, ये जो विशिष्ट कोर्ट है भारतवर्ष के, उनसे बड़ा कोई नहीं है। कानून अपना काम कर रही है और मुझे लगता है कि कार्ति चिदम्बरम हो या कांग्रेस पार्टी, उनको अपने आप को कानून से बड़ा नहीं सोचना चाहिए।
46-year-old businessman Karthi Chidambaram has been accused of taking bribes to help television company INX Media get clearance for foreign investments in 2007. The CBI filed an FIR against him on May 15th last year. The agency alleged that Karthi also received money from INX Media to derail a tax investigation. The Enforcement Directorate also filed a money laundering case against Karthi. The investigation agencies also carried out a series of raids on the houses and offices owned by the Chidambarams. On February 26th, Delhi's Patiala House Court sent S. Bhaskaran, Karthi's chartered accountant, to 14-day judicial custody in connection with the case. Bhaskaran was arrested from a 5-star hotel in Delhi on February 16th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, the Cabinet on Wednesday approved the Trafficking of Persons Prevention, Protection and Rehabilitation Bill 2018. It will be introduced in Parliament in the second half of the budget session, which starts on the 5th of March. The apex anti-terror body NIA will be the nodal authority for probing cases of human trafficking. The Cabinet also agreed to give focused attention to 12 identified champion services sectors for promoting their development.
The Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved the bill to prevent human trafficking. The law, when enacted, will make India a leader among South Asian countries in combating trafficking. It also introduces the aspect of a rehabilitation fund for the first time. The National Investigation Agency will perform the task of Anti-Trafficking Bureau at the national level. Courts will be designated in each district for the speedy trials. Punishment will range from rigorous 10 years to life and fine not less than 1 lakh rupees.
Purpose is to address and prevent child prostitution, child labour, removal of organs, use of children in wars, internal insurgencies, illegal adoption, any forms of slavery, buying, selling of women for marriage, drug peddling, smuggling, sex tourism, and anything connected with it.
The Cabinet also approved a proposal to give focused attention to 12 identified champion services sectors. A dedicated fund of 5,000 crore rupees has been set up to support initiatives for sectoral action plans of the champion sectors.
To get services contribute to at least 4.2% from present 3.3% by 2022. So this will be significantly higher percentage because the world economy also would have grown by then significantly. We look into reforming regulatory landscape and also to separate professional association functions from regulatory functions.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs also approved continuation of Prime Minister's Employment Generation Programme Beyond 12 plan for 3 years from 2017-18 to 2019-20 with a total outlay of 5,500 crore rupees. It also approved doubling of government guarantee from 9,500 crore rupees to 19,000 crore rupees for procurements of pulses and oilseeds at MSP by National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. In 2011 only, India had ratified a UN protocol for a stringent legislation against human trafficking, but no significant headway was made. And now this proposed law ensures focused monitoring to avert the incidents of human trafficking. Reporting from Delhi with camera person Kawaljit, I'm Karthi Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley launched a Pension Sanchay, a financial literacy and pension planning website, and released a report on financial inclusion and pension coverage on Wednesday. Speaking at the 4th Annual Conference on Pension organised by the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, Finance Minister Jaitley said there is a great need to evolve India into an insured society. He added that the dependence of our senior citizens is a grave challenge for the society, and it can be met with evolution of concept of pension and its expansion.
Conventionally, it was considered that only in structured government employment, pension was the responsibility of the state. But then the state resources also had their own limitations. And therefore, as in everywhere else in the world, new innovative methods of evolving and popularizing different kinds of pension systems have been evolving.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a meeting with Chief Ministers and Deputy Chief Ministers of the BJP-ruled states in New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi and BJP President Amit Shah addressed the meeting. During the meeting, the pro-poor policies of the government were reviewed with a focus on ways to provide maximum benefits to the poor, farmers, Dalits, tribals, youth and women. Implementation of the centre's flagship schemes like the health insurance scheme, housing scheme, rural electrification scheme and others by the states was also discussed. Apart from the weaker sections of the society, the meeting also focused on poll preparations for upcoming state and general elections. The meeting also discussed ways to strengthen the party. Currently, the BJP has 14 chief ministers in the country along with deputy chief ministers in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir.
पिछले 2 बैठकों के बाद ये तीसरी बैठक है जिसमें मुख्यमंत्री परिषद के नाम से हम अपने अपने राज्यों में किए गए काम और किए गए काम के बारे में जानकारी भी और उस विकास यात्रा के बारे में खास तौर से वो प्रमुख योजनाएं जिसको प्रधानमंत्री जी ने राष्ट्रीय स्तर में क्रियान्वयन किया है और इस देश में परिवर्तन का केंद्र बिंदु बनने वाला है। 10 करोड़ परिवार, उनके लिए 5 लाख तक की बीमा की योजना और उसका समयबद्ध क्रियान्वयन, इस कार्य योजना के लिए हम अपनी भूमिका कैसे निभा सकते हैं। क्रियान्वयन एजेंसी स्टेट है, हेल्थ का सेक्टर हो, हाउसिंग का सेक्टर हो, हम एजेंसी हैं। प्रधानमंत्री की योजना में हम उसका क्रियान्वयन कर रहे हैं।
Shifting focus to other news now, Jordan will give visa on arrival to all Indians wishing to go there. This will increase people-to-people contact and mutual trust between the two countries. Jordan's King Abdullah II announced the facility during his talks with Indian and Jordanian businessmen in Delhi. He said both India and Jordan have immense opportunities in business and it must be utilized. Jordan's King is in Delhi on a 3-day state visit to India. On Wednesday, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj met him and shared her views on deepening ties between the two countries. The Jordanian King also met scientific and technological luminaries at IIT Delhi and assessed the scope of India-Jordan academic partnership. On Thursday, he will participate in summit-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during which some important agreements are slated to be cleared.
As we have announced that the opportunities for your countrymen and women to come to Jordan has been facilitated, but at the same time I asked your very capable ambassador in Amman that any challenges that Indians have coming to our borders, please let the embassy know. We in the Royal Court will personally look into it to make sure that the smoothest welcome is given to our Indian compatriots.
Well, moving on to other news now, Sridevi was cremated with full state honours in Mumbai. Family, friends and thousands of her fans bid a tearful adieu to the versatile actor. Here's a look at the last journey of India's first female superstar.
A sea of fans and celebrities thronged the condolence meeting of late actor Sridevi to pay their last respects to the yesteryear diva. With flowers and pictures of the actor in their hands, the deluge of fans were proof of how celebrated and loved Sridevi was. For years, she captivated her fans with her vibrance and charisma. Seeing her lie motionless in a glass casket left thousands heartbroken and shattered. Wrapped in a red and golden Kanjivaram sari, Sridevi looked ethereal on her final journey. A Padma Shri, Sridevi's mortal remains were wrapped in the tricolour as she took the last lap of her illustrious journey amid a swarm of fans and lovers and a guard of honour by the Mumbai police. The deceased star was also given a gun salute. Sridevi was a league of her own. Her sudden demise cut short her long journey embellished with success. But the legend will continue to be an integral part of the history of Indian cinema. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Jayendra Saraswati, the 69th Shankaracharya of the Kanchipuram Kamakoti Peetham, passed away this morning after a cardiac arrest. Jayendra Saraswati, aged 82 years, was rushed to a private hospital in Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu after he complained of uneasiness. He was named by Chandrasekhara Saraswati Swamigal as his successor on March 22, 1954. He will now be succeeded by Vijayendra Saraswati. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu condoled his demise in a message on Twitter. He said his contribution for the welfare of mankind and in promoting spirituality will always be an inspiration for others. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted an image of him with the Kanchi seer. He said he is deeply anguished by his passing away. The Prime Minister said he will live on in the hearts and minds of lakhs of devotees due to his exemplary service and noblest thoughts. The Prime Minister also added that the Shankaracharya was at the forefront of innumerable community service initiatives. He nurtured institutions which transformed the lives of the poor and downtrodden. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj too tweeted, "My respectful homage to Param Pujya Swami Jayendra Saraswati ji, who has attained Mahasamadhi this morning. I was fortunate to have his blessings always." Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Karthi Chidambaram arrested by the CBI. The crackdown against corruption intensifies. Can we put an end to the menace? The fight against corruption on the big picture at 9:30 p.m. Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, there was a major victory for Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik as his party, BJD, secured a landslide victory in the Bijepur by-poll, defeating BJP's Ashok Panigrahi by more than 41,000 votes. Hailing his party candidate Rita Sahu's victory in Bijepur Assembly by-polls, Naveen Patnaik said that the outcome of the polls would have an impact on the general elections in 2019. Rita Sahu was fielded as a BJD candidate in the by-polls after her husband Subal Sahu died on August 2017. Meanwhile, in Madhya Pradesh, opposition Congress retained the Mungauli Assembly seat. Congress candidate Brajendra Singh Yadav won by a margin of 2,124 votes against his BJP rival. The by-poll held on February 24th was necessitated due to the death of Congress's MLA Mahendra Singh Kalukheda. Well, the Delhi High Court on Wednesday reserved its order on 20 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs' plea challenging their disqualification in the Office of Profit case. The MLAs had yesterday told the court that EC's order disqualifying them was passed in complete violation of natural justice, as they were not given the opportunity to explain their stand before the Election Commission. The MLAs also requested to remand their case back to the poll panel with a direction to hear the matter afresh. The MLAs had approached the High Court challenging their disqualification after President gave his nod to the EC's recommendation. The High Court was hearing the plea on a day-to-day basis since 7th of February. Meanwhile, former Bihar Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi announced his decision to quit from the ruling NDA in the state. He said his party, Hindustani Awam Morcha, is joining the opposition Mahagathbandhan of the RJD and the Congress. The announcement was made by Manjhi in Patna in presence of RJD leaders Tejasvi Yadav, Bola Yadav, Tej Pratap Yadav and others. The development came 2 days after Manjhi had demanded that the NDA field at least one member from his party for the 6 Rajya Sabha polls in the state scheduled next month. A former JDU leader, Manjhi had quit the party in 2015 after being forced to step down as the chief minister to make way for the return of Nitish Kumar. He later on formed the HAM and joined the NDA. Well, on National Science Day, the Ministry of Science and Technology gave national awards to eminent scientists who made outstanding contributions in the field of science and promoting scientific temper. The theme this year was Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. Presenting the awards, Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan applauded the discoveries made by the scientists. He said scientists also have scientific social responsibility to work for the development for society as a whole. The highest national award for outstanding efforts for science and technology communication went to Dr. Raghbir Singh from Punjab. National award for women development was given to NSD's Odisha Centre. National Science Day is celebrated all over India on the 28th of February every year. The day commemorates the discovery of the Raman effect by C.V. Raman, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930.
हम सब वैज्ञानिकों की साइंटिफिक सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि वैज्ञानिक वर्ग हमारा अपनी साइंटिफिक सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को समझेगा। पर्यावरण मंत्री के नाते भी मेरा सबसे ये कहना है कि आप विज्ञान के माध्यम से पर्यावरण की सहायता करने के लिए विज्ञान का भरपूर प्रयोग करिए।
अवार्ड जो है ये हमेशा एक वेलकम चीज़ होती है। आदमी अगर ज़िंदगी में ये सोच के काम करे कि मुझे कोई अवार्ड मिलेगा तो तब हो सकता है कि वो ऐसा काम ना कर पाए, पर अवार्ड को ना सोचते हुए भी अगर मेहनत करनी है और उसको बाद में कोई रिकॉग्नाइज करे तो उसका आनंद बहुत आता है।
Well, former Prime Minister Morarji Desai's birth anniversary was observed on Wednesday in Parliament. A function was held to pay floral tributes to his portrait in the Central Hall of Parliament House. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with union ministers and members of Parliament, paid homage to the former Prime Minister. Born on the 29th of February 1896, Morarji Desai played an important role in India's freedom struggle. He became the 4th Prime Minister of the country in 1977 at the age of 81 years. He also served as Deputy Prime Minister, Union Home Minister, Union Finance Minister and Chief Minister of Bombay State. He died at the age of 99 on the 10th of April 1995. Meanwhile, North Korea is allegedly shipping supplies to Syria that could be used to make chemical weapons. Stating this, a UN report claimed that 40 previously unreported shipments were made between 2012 and 2017. The supplies sent from North Korea included acid-resistant tiles, walls and pipes. The report also claimed that North Korean missile specialists had been seen at Syrian weapon-making centers. The allegations follow new reports of chlorine being used by Syrian forces, which the government denies. Meanwhile, the United States said Russia has violated its duty to guarantee the destruction of Syria's chemical weapons and prevent the Assad government from using poison gas. U.S. disarmament ambassador said that Syria was violating the Chemical Weapons Convention it signed in 2013, and Moscow had been in violation of its commitment to act as a guarantor of Syria's behavior. Also, airstrikes were heard in the eastern Ghouta region outside Damascus as a second daily pause in fighting was due to get underway to allow in relief aid. Aid was unable to enter the rebel-held region on Tuesday during the pause. Activists blamed government air and artillery strikes, while Russia said rebels shelled a humanitarian corridor meant to let civilians leave. Well, here are some more updates from around the world in our segment Global Buzz. A top general of the United States Central Command says that the U.S. is seeing positive indicators from Pakistan, but clarified that the freeze in American security aid to the country will continue. Commander of the U.S. Central Command, General Joseph Votel, said the U.S. is seeing an increase in communication, information sharing and actions on the ground in response to specific U.S. requests. The Trump administration said that the Taliban in Afghanistan does not seem to be ready for peace talks and asserted that any such talks have to be Afghan-led and Afghan-owned. The Trump administration ruled out direct talks with the Taliban, which was being sought by the terrorist outfit, in a letter to the U.S. At least 10 people were killed in an attack in communal clashes in Nigeria, according to reports. The attackers came in pickup trucks and riding motorbikes and razed many buildings. Soldiers killed 10 herdsmen and arrested 7 others after the attackers struck a village in the Gwamba region. And some sports news now. A top Indian javelin thrower, Tavinder Singh Kang, was suspended provisionally by the World Athletics governing body after failing a dope test in an out-of-competition test last week. Kang's dope sample was taken by the officials of the Athletics Integrity Unit. It was found to contain a banned steroid, and Kang now faces the prospect of being banned for 4 years, which could end his career. On Tuesday, Kang's dope failure was communicated to the Athletics Federation of India by the International Association of Athletics Federations. His name was immediately removed from the starting lineup of the men's javelin throw at the Indian Grand Prix held at NIS Patiala. Last year, Kang was also tested positive for marijuana by the National Anti-Doping Agency officials during an Indian Grand Prix event. He took part in the 2017 World Championship in London and became the first Indian to reach the javelin final. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this newscast. Good night.